بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is session 3 of our study on the field of Nahw. Last time we touched upon singulars and we said a singular word can either be an ism, which is a noun, a fi'l, which is a verb, or a harf, which is a particle. Now we're going to specifically dive into a discussion related to the isms, the nouns. So an ism can either be nakira or ma'rifa. Nakira, ma'rifa. Nakira is an ism, it's a noun which is indefinite. What does that mean? Noun that refers to a general thing. Example, rajulun, aman. You're not making specifications here. You're mentioning regarding any man, any one man, right? Rajulun, a man. This is not a specific man that's being talked about. In opposition to a ma'rifa is a definite noun, okay? Nouns that refer to a specific thing. Example, al-rajul. You have the same noun, but you make it specific. And how do you do that? You mention it with alif lam. Okay, al-rajul, the man. Now you're talking about a specific man. Hence why it's ma'rifa, it's definite. So nakira is when there's a noun which is indefinite, meaning referring to a general thing. Example, rajulun aman. So you're not trying to talk about any specific man, okay, just aman in general. And here you have ma'rifa, definite, ar-rajul, the man. So it's a specific man. So it's a noun that refers to a specific thing. In this case, a specific man. Does that make sense? Now, when it comes to the types of nakiras, the types of ma'rifas, for nakiras you have two types over here. You have ismu dhat and ismu sifa. Okay? An ismu dhat is a noun that denotes the being of something. And the ismu sifa is a noun that indicates the quality of something. Right? How do we actually understand this? An ismu dhat is something that's in being and it's independent in its existence. Right? A dhat is independent in its existence. It doesn't need a quality for it to exist. In opposition to a quality, adjective you can call it, it can't exist unless it exists within a dhat. It needs to exist within a dhat, within an essence. You see this, right? Any kind of sifa that you have, any kind of adjective that you have, it can't exist independently. For example, the color blue, right? It needs to exist within something. Something needs to be blue. Hence why it's not independent in its existence. So ismu sifa is a noun that indicates the quality of something. And ismu dhat is a noun that denotes the being of something. How can you actually make the difference? The difference is that ismu dhat, for its existence, okay, it's not dependent upon something else. In opposition to ismu sifa, its existence is dependent upon something else. It needs to reside within something, whether that sifa, whether the adjective is a color or dimensions, right? Whether we're talking about a color or dimensions like length and width, you can't have length and width unless it's the length and width of something, right? It needs to be the length and width of something for it to be there, right? Hence why it's not independent in its wujud, in its existence. So the example given for ismu dhat, a noun that denotes the being of something, is rajul, aman, right? It's an essence, right? An ismu sifa, noun that indicates the quality of something, is tawil, long. This is a quality, right? This is a dimension, right, of something. This is the quality of something, right? It's long. This is the quality of something, right? It's long. So we have over here a ma'rifa, a definite noun, is noun that refers to a specific thing. Example, ar-rajulun daman. Ar-rajul, noun that refers to a specific thing. Example, ar-rajul daman. So we have ma'rifa over here, which is a definite noun. It's a noun that refers to a specific thing. Example, ar-rajul, the man. And we have 7 types of ma'rifas over here. Now, I just want you to familiarize yourself with these types. All of these types, or pretty much majority of these types, will have a specific separate discussion. And we're going to go over those discussions one by one later on, right? Sector by sector. Well, for now, I just want you to familiarize yourself with these types of ma'rifas. Okay. Okay. So you have ismul alam, the proper noun. Example, Zaid. A proper noun. How do you explain a proper noun? A proper noun is like the name of a place or name of a person. You know, like in English language. In English language, you know, when you have a noun of a place or a person, then you have to have a capital letter on the beginning letter. Right, the first letter would have a capital letter. That's what's called a proper noun. That's the easiest way of actually explaining a proper noun, what it is. The second one, ismul domir, the pronoun. Example, huwa. Ismul mawsul, the relative pronoun. Example, allazi, it's a relative pronoun. It has the meaning of who. And ismul mawsul, it needs a sentence after it. We'll learn this later on when we touch upon the discussion of Ism Mawsul. Just keep in mind, Ism Mawsul is the relative pronoun. In this example we have over here, Allazi who, okay, it needs a sentence after it. And Ism Mawsul needs a sentence after it. We'll get to that later on. Al-Munada is the vocative case. Munada is the one who has been called. So after the particle or that's used to call someone, example here, ya, what's after it in this example, rajul, that's the munada. So rajul, the man is the munada. It's the vocative case. Okay, ya rajul, O man. Okay, so that's also ma'rifa. Okay, the munada is also ma'rifa, the one who's being called. Al mu'arraf bil you have a noun, and that noun is not ma'rifa, and you add alif lam to it, it makes it ma'rifa. So example, rajul, right? You add alif lam to it, becomes al-rajul, makes it ma'rifa. So the man. So a noun that has alif lam. Ismul ishara, the demonstrative pronoun. Example, hadha is used to actually demonstrate something, point at something. Hadha, this. Right. Al-mudaf ila ma'rifa. Let me just make it more clear. Al-mudaf ila ma'rifa. Example, Kitabu Zaydin, the book of Zayd. Now this al-mudaf ila ma'rifa is a noun related to any of the above. So you add a noun that's nakira, okay, it's indefinite, and you relate it to any of the above 6 types, it will make that nakira noun ma'rifa. Example, Kitabu Zaydin, right? You have Kitabu Zaydin. Kitab alone is nakira, right? A book, right? You add a ma'rifa to it, okay, you relate a ma'rifa with it. So example here, Zaid. Zaid is ma'rifa, right? It's a ismun alam. It's a proper noun. So you relate to ma'rifa with it, and that kitab is made ma'rifa now. Okay. Now I'm not going to give examples for each one of these for al-mudaf ila ma'rifa, because I think that's just going to confuse you, because you're not going to understand this discussion of al-mudaf ila ma'rifa, this type meaning, until you actually study the discussion of mudaf ilayh. That's going to come. That's not actually been touched upon yet. When that discussion has finished, we'll go back to this and then we'll give examples, because I feel like if I give examples now, there's going to be questions that come to mind, like how do you actually make this form, right? And why is it Kitabu Zaydin? Why can't it be Kitab bin Zaydin? Whatever. These are the questions that are going to come to mind if you are not grounded and not familiar with the discussion of mudaf ilayh, because it actually goes back to that. So hence why we're going to keep this pending until we actually have done that discussion. But an example for now, Kitabu Zayd, in the book of Zayd. Does that make sense?